Hi, this is Roy. Welcome back to the training. In this module, we're going to talk about how to build and launch your campaign. So you want to go to Investment Navigator, and then you want to go to Marketing and Campaigns. This is where you will find your existing campaigns, and you can edit them here. You can delete them and you can create new ones. By default, when you registered your account, we added a campaign example, which is my recommendation on how to set up a campaign. I just added it to my own account, and you should find it as campaign example, this one. So let's check that out first. Let's edit it. And if you want to get started very quickly and you want to make sure everything works as it should, then you can use this campaign example, edit it to fit your purpose, and then just start it. When you want to start a campaign, you press here is activated yes, and then you save. But I'm not going to do that right now. Publish at, so if you want to have the campaign go out a certain day, you can set that date and time and then activate it, and it will start from that date time. Same thing on publish. After the date you configure here, the campaign will stop running. But if you leave it empty, it will keep going until it's finished. And then on a campaign basis, you can decide to exclude any of your existing LinkedIn connections from entering the campaign. And you can do the same thing with people that are in your HubSpot. And you would use this if your goal is to only contact new people. So if you were doing a newsletter, let's say you do a newsletter every month, and you want it to go out to existing contacts, you would leave them unchecked. But if you want to just expand your network, target new people, then you would check both of those. I'm gonna leave them unchecked for now. And here's a description. You can change it to whatever you want. Same thing, name here, it's just for your reference. And then let's launch the campaign builder. This is where it gets interesting. And this is really powerful. In the campaign builder, you can build any type of flow you want, and the campaign will run accordingly. So let's just go through this campaign first, and I'll show you how it is set up, and then I'll show you how you can build a completely new campaign. When you first create a campaign, the only box that will be here is contact source. And if you press edit here, you'll see that you can here select different lists to add to the campaign. So maybe you want this to go to all European pension funds and all hedge funds in the United States. You can select those and save. And then you gotta apply and save the campaign for this to take hold. So in this campaign, we've got the first action. And so in this campaign, you have two types of events. And those are represented by the blue boxes and the red boxes. The blue represent actions and the red one represents conditions. So an action is something like connect on LinkedIn. This name is used for your own reference, and then you can select if this event can occur more than once, and that means more than once for the same contact. So you could create some type of loop where maybe you reuse the same event, but by default this will usually be no. And then it says here execute this event. So you can do immediately and it will be done immediately, or at a relative time period. So if you want this event to take place, let's say 3 days after a person entering the campaign, you can set that. Or if you want it to occur at a specific date, you can select a date and a time. But we are going to leave it as immediately. And here you select what message you want to go out. In the previous module we created messages, but this campaign is in your account from the very beginning. So if you want to change the message, you've got to go to LinkedIn messages and edit this message in particular and then save it, because it's already associated with this action. And then you just press add. And then once a contact has received the invitation, it will wait 1 day and then it will check. This is a condition. It will check if you are connected with that contact. And this is how it looks. And then the red path here is if this condition is evaluated as false. So if you're not connected, after 1 day it will check if you're connected, and then after another day it will check if you're connected. And then of course if it finds that you are connected, it will go down here. And this is interest level equals new. So you can check if the interest level on our system is equal to new. So by default in HubSpot the status is new. If you change the status in HubSpot to interested, for example, then it's not going to be new and it will be evaluated as false and the campaign will stop. But if the contact is still new, it will continue and it will send a LinkedIn message. This is an action and it will take place immediately. And you can switch which message you want to use here, and if you just want to edit the message, you do that under LinkedIn messages. And then it will, after 7 days, check if the contact has responded. And if it hasn't responded, it will check if interest levels is still equal to new, and if it is, it will send an email. And then that repeats after 7 days, it will check the same thing, and it will send the second email, and so on and so on. At this place, you know, if you never connect with a person, it will check if that person is still new in the system. And if it is, it will send a different email. And because you're not connected at LinkedIn, you may want the email to be different. And so this one would go out. And then after 7 days, it will check here if they responded. So I want to comment on why we're using 2 conditions here. It's because in our system, we have the status, which is either active, responded, invalid, bounced, or opt out. So if someone opts out in an email, it will be marked as that. Or if we see that, you know, they've responded to an email, because your email is connected through IMAP, our system will sometimes pick up on that, and it will mark the contact as responded. Now, the status field in HubSpot contains different options, right? And in our system, that's represented by interest level, new, interested, maybe later unqualified, etc. And so if you change the status in HubSpot, the status in our system and the interest level will change, and it will be changed to responded. But if they opt out, or if you mark them as opted out in HubSpot, then the status in our system will change to opted out. So that's why we use both of them, to make sure we check for email responses, or if you've changed the status yourself manually. So this is the campaign. You can use this one to get started very quickly. Just edit these messages in the menu here and save, and then add a list here, save, then press apply, activate it, and decide if you want to just target new people or not, and then save and close. And then here, of course, there is a dashboard for this specific campaign, a graph, and the contacts in it. So not only do you have the dashboard that breaks down the overall communication, but you can actually go in and look at the stats in specific campaigns and in specific messages. But let's now go and have a look at building a completely new campaign from the scratch. And there's really nothing that holds you back except your own imagination. Like, you could do any type of flow you want. You could do several touches on LinkedIn over days, over months, or you could do just email, or you could combine them. And if they're not interested, or you may want to do a separate email, and if they're interested, you may want to do another email. So first you want to give it a name, and then let's go straight into the builder. As you see, there is no contact source associated here, so let's do one for wealth managers. You press save, and then if you want to create a new action, you click this gray circle and you select action or condition, and then you select which action you want. So you can send emails, you can connect with people on LinkedIn, or you can send a message to a LinkedIn connection, or you can send someone with an open profile a message. But this is quite rare and not so many people have it. So you want to set it up so that no matter the contact, he will get communication. So some contacts only have LinkedIn, some contacts only have email. So you want to set up an alternative. And that's why we have conditions which will help you check if you're connected with them. And if you're not, you may want to send an email. But let's first select send connection request. You can give it a name, but it will be a default name here otherwise. So let's select the message, and let's say we want to do it after 3 days from entering the campaign for whatever reason. And then if you want to drag something, you just do it like this. You can delete them by clicking this one. And now you can add another condition or action here. So let's check if they has accepted the LinkedIn connection request. You can also check if they've opened a particular email, and then you can check status and interest level, like I said. And you see here that you can do it globally or for a specific campaign. So it may be that if they are interested in HubSpot, you don't want them to get the message. And then you would select global. But it's also possible that they are interested or they responded to a particular campaign, and if they responded to that campaign, then you don't want to send them a message. But let's say they responded to another campaign, you still might want them to get the message. So that's why you can check on a particular campaign. So if you do a special promotion for a new product you're launching, or a new deal or something, and these people may have received your communication before, you still want them to get the message, but you don't want the promotion to keep going once they've replied to it. And then you would select status equals in campaign. But let's do this one. And we want to check it after 1 day to give the contact some time to accept the connection. And here you can do if it evaluates to true or if it evaluates to false. So if they haven't accepted the connection, let's send an email. But if they did accept the connection, then check if they are still, then check if they have responded to this particular campaign. And let's say if they haven't responded, you want to send a LinkedIn message. And then to connect these different boxes with each other, you would hover over this one, the gray or the colored ones. You would hold and then drag it, and it will go in the direction of the arrow. So you may want to check the status here after this email. Oops. So that's really how you create action conditions and how you connect them. And then the blue one is edit. Let's say we decide we don't want to send this message, we can delete them like this and just have it like that. And then you press apply, and if you want this to go out now, you just activate, set a publish date, and then save and close. And then your campaign will start usually within the next 30 minutes. That's how you build your campaign. That's all for this training. Thank you.